Right, well, back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the first match preview of the new season, 25-26. Here we go. Why am I saying that? I sound like him. I don't talk like him. Here we are anyway. Here we are. Newcastle's first game of the season. I'm actually really excited for the game. I'll tell you what I think it's, I'm just going to go like in a minute, my predictions and my concerns, etc., etc. But I'm just glad to concentrate on football again. I'm so sick of this transfer window and this summer of discontent that we've all been through, largely perpetrated by one grumpy Swedish individual. But football is back. Newcastle are back in the Premier League. We've got a match to focus on, and it's a difficult start for us. We are down at Villa Park, the team we just picked for the Champions League last season. They're a really good side. Got a very good manager in Unai Emery. They've got a new signing as well who wants to impress. We're going to get stuck into this, talk about how we think the lads are going to line up, talk about maybe the Villa danger men, our danger men, how we think the game is going to go. If that's the kind of thing you guys like, smash, subscribe, like the channel, help it grow, help get us to the next milestone. We've had loads of new subs over this miserable summer. So thank you very much, everybody who's come on board and clicked the button. Maybe some of you Liverpool fans just to laugh at us. Maybe when Isaac goes or doesn't go, they might disappear. But thank you anyway. Whoever's clicked the button, really appreciate it. So let's get into this at Aston Villa at Villa Park. Now, for me, like I say, Villa are a really, really strong team. They've added to the squad as well. The big thing for this one, in terms of their players missing, is Martinez is missing, which is a massive thing for them in goal after his red card in that game at Manchester United, last game of the season. But they've got some very dangerous players. And obviously with a new signing is Evan Gossand, that they signed from the French league. I think he's a very talented striker, so he could make his debut. So that's going to be quite concerning. But we're not here to talk too much about Villa. We're here to talk about Newcastle. And this is the easiest Newcastle lineup I've probably ever chosen and will ever choose, I think, for the rest of the season. This is how I think Newcastle will line up. I think Nick Pope, the new number one, as he is on the squad number, will be in between the sticks, not Aaron Ramsdale. I do think in time Aaron Ramsdale will find himself in between the sticks, but Eddie Howe will start the season with Nick Pope. There is no doubt about that at all. Shot stop and reliability and his kind of I suppose his relationship with Eddie Howe over the years that he's been here. Nick Pope is the number one. There's no doubt about that. Even if we'd signed James Trafford, I don't think he would have started this game either. So Nick Pope will be in the sticks. Now, Lewis Hall is still recovering from the injury that he had last season. He will slowly be bled back into the side, in my opinion. Looked quite good in the preseason game, but he's not featured a lot in preseason. So I think Eddie Howe is building him up strength-wise, as he will Sven Botman as well, who's had minutes here and there. So I think we'll start with a back four of Timo Livramento at left back. We'll have Kieran Trippier at right back. And then the centre-back pairing will be the old boys, will be Fabian Schär and Dan Burn starting as the back four. The midfield three picks itself pretty much. You got Sandro Tonali in that sixth role. We've got Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton looking to try and have a better season with lack of injuries, hopefully for Big Joe. Up front, this is the big issue for Newcastle right now. I mentioned at the start of the video, it's hard not to mention them. It's like a dark negative cloud hanging over the club this whole summer. The sooner we get rid of this cloud, one way or the other, the better. But this is how I think we're going to shape up in the front three. We're going to see Harvey Barnes come in on the left-hand side. Now, I'm okay with that because Harvey Barnes generally has a really good game against the Villa. He likes a goal against them. They don't like him because he likes a goal against them. So the Villa fans, if you're in the comments, let me know. They'll probably be thinking, oh, Christ, not Harvey Barnes. And then we'll have Alanga making his Premier League debut on the right-hand side. He's going to look to impress early on, use that pace, get in behind, cause Villa a threat. Villa have caused us lots of threat with pace over the years. Certainly had some horrible fixtures against them at Villa Park with pace in their side. So Alanga hopefully will be doing that to them on Saturday lunchtime. And through the middle, it is going to be Anthony Gordon because there is nobody else to go there. Will Asula will not lead this line. He'll be on the bench, no doubt. Sean Neve might even be on the bench, but we don't have a centre forward. Now, even if we are to sign Wissa by the time the game is played, I'm recording this midway through the week, so Wissa's not here. Nobody's here. The only striker, proper striker that we have, doesn't want to play for us. His name's Alexander Isak. He wants to go to Liverpool. So that is the issue that Newcastle have right now. So Newcastle are going to go into this game without a recognised centre forward, without arguably the third best centre forward in the world because of his ridiculous, disrespectful antics over the summer. He cannot be involved with the squad. Eddie Howe doesn't want to involve the squad. And do you know what? Alex Isak doesn't want to be involved with the squad either. He wants to be involved with the Liverpool squad, not the Newcastle squad. So this whole thing is an absolute mess. It really is. And Newcastle are trying to manage this. Eddie Howe is trying to manage this as best as we can. But you know what? Sometimes through adversity, through these negative moments, positivity breaks through. And Newcastle could use this as fuel as a way to really get a positive result against Villa on Saturday. I'm not entirely sure that we will, because this is a really tough fixture. Even if Isak hadn't have thrown his toys out the pram and we start in this game, I think we still would look at this as a difficult fixture because Aston Villa are a really, really good side. So I'll get into my prediction of the result in a second, but going to Villa as they are as a side, Aston Villa, very, very good team. I think the danger man for me in their side, again, I don't know a lot about Evan Gusson, that he might be unbelievable. But the one that I'm kind of keeping my eyes on is Morgan Rogers, an excellent player, can pick up pockets of space all over the pitch, can link up play, can thread balls through to this new centre forward they've got, can get a goal himself. He's a really, really dangerous player. And, for me, I think that's a player we need to keep quiet. As Newcastle United, we need to keep that player quiet. We need to make sure that he doesn't get a lot of the ball. That'll possibly be someone like Sandro Tonali following around the pitch, making sure that he can't get on the ball and he can't do the things that he does. And that's going to be key for Newcastle getting a result in this game, because keep Morgan Rogers quiet for them, then hopefully, we'll do the rest and we'll be able to do the business. Really, I'm just having a quick look at their fixtures really and see how they got on in terms of their friendly. So they were playing, I think, Villarreal. They beat Villarreal 2-0. They got beat off Marseille 3-1. Very feisty game. I remember Tyrone Mings grabbing a certain Mason Greenwood and almost getting an OBE, I think, for that. But the way Villa shaped up against Villarreal, Ollie Watkins was back in the score sheet. He plays with Lincoln Newcastle this summer as well. Very good player. So they linked up. They had Ollie Watkins. They had Buendia playing in behind him again, who's looking for a season free of injuries. They had Leon Bailey out wide, who's got real pace to test us. Thankfully, he'll be coming up against Team Livramento, who's got a lot of pace, can handle that running, and he can also push Bailey back. Tielemans is in the midfield. He had a great season last season. Kamara is a good kind of defensive midfielder as well. They've got obviously Onana as well, who's a really good player. I'm not entirely sure how they'll line up for this game. They've got Konza and Torres at the back. They'll possibly be the back two, or maybe Mings will come back in for that game. I mean, Mings doesn't do very well with pace, so potentially they might go for Konza and Torres. But they're an excellent side, Aston Villa. There is no doubt about that at all. And if Watkins is fit and firing again, that is a concern for us, because he's a really, really good player. I mean, looking at the result, they beat Roma 4-0 a couple of weeks back there at Villa Park. An excellent result for them again. And Buendia again was in that 10 role with an assist and a goal. So potentially that's how they'll line up as a side against us. Obviously, Martinez has played right through these preseason games. Really, I'm not sure who the substitute goalkeeper is, really, to be honest with you. Let's just have a look and see whether they used him in the other game. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, it's is it Bizot? Excuse me, Aston Villa fans, for my pronunciation. Bizot. Funnily enough, actually, I'm looking at this game against Marseille. A certain Jacob Ramsey was playing in midfield for them. He could be in a black and white shirt by the time that this game is played. Marlon as well. God, they've got a lot of good players, to be fair, Aston Villa. You forget some of these players. I like Onana. I think he's a really good defensive midfielder. That's going to be a tough game for Bruno, Joe Linton, and Tonali. If you have the likes of Onana, Camara, Tielemans in there, I think it'll probably be Tielemans and Onana in a double pivot. But our midfield is one of the best midfields in the league on their day. So I really think that we could give them a real torrid time as well. Matty Cash and Luca Dean are probably going to be the full backs as well. Yet I think they'll probably go with Torres and Konza will be the back two. But it's a bit too early to predict the Aston Villa lineups. But there is some very good players in there. There is no doubt about it at all. Be interesting to see if Buendia gets that start. I think he is a good player. He is a talented player. Number 10s can pop up in pockets of space against us the way we play in that 4-3-3. But with Tonali being so good in the 6, I think he'll be able to drop in and he'll be able to take care of those runs, because he's such a good player at sniffing out danger and dealing with those problems. But this will be an excellent game for the neutral. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Prediction-wise, my heart says 1-1. I think we could start the season with a good score draw against Aston Villa. Maybe even if Gordon gets off the score sheet, that'll be good for us as well. Give a bit of confidence to Gordon to get goals in that centre forward position when he has to play there, because he may have to play there for a couple of weeks if we don't bring somebody else in. But my head says Aston Villa are strong at home. They'll want to start strong. I think Newcastle might narrowly get beat on this one, possibly 2-1. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 defeat sadly, against Aston Villa, guys, because it's not a happy hunting ground for us. But let us know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you think we'll get a good result here? Are you more positive? Do you think Eddie will be able to turn this misery around into siege mentality and really go to Villa? A positive result, get off on the front foot. That second game of the season is going to be a tasty one against Liverpool for sure, no doubt. I wonder who Alexander Isak's playing for in that game. But this is an important fixture for Newcastle, just to get all the shit out the way, start strong, get a good result. Hopefully the lads can do it on Saturday lunchtime. I'll be back with a live post-match review of the game straight after it. Jump in the lives as always. Like and subscribe, guys. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the reminder that it's coming on. We always like to hear your opinions as well as give mine after the game is finished. But thanks for watching. Have a belter of a week. How are the lads for Saturday? Start off strong. Let's get a good result and put all this negativity behind us. Have a belter. See you later.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.